Okay. So for today's agenda, we're going to start with an overview of the program, discuss who can participate. Then we'll dive into the programs, providing an overview of the prescriptive, custom, and instant discount program. Just one moment, let me see. The chat feature is enabled. Only the presenters will be able to unmute. At the end of the session, we can open that up for a Q&A if you so choose. So we will provide an overview of the prescriptive and custom program and also mention the instant discount program, which is all administered by TRC as a program implementer. We also will take a deep dive into the custom program, and we will review the application process and discuss inspections, exceptions, and cancellations. And then we'll also share some information with you about the financing that's available for these projects. And of course, we'll take time throughout the presentation to stop for Q&A. And as a reminder for anyone who recently joined, you can pose questions and participate in this webinar via the chat feature. I encourage everyone to open that up. I encourage everyone to introduce themselves, identify your company, the services that you provide. It is an opportunity for networking and could be an opportunity to identify some opportunities for you for any customers who are on the call. There's also a Q&A feature which will allow you to ask questions directly to the panelists, and we will address those throughout the presentation, starting with the first one, which is yes, if you would like the slide deck to be sent to you, please put your information in the chat and please let us know and we'll be happy to do so. There is a pre-recording that is available on our website. If you specifically would like this recording, because we are going to dive into the custom program, please just let us know and we'll be happy to support you with that. Now, as an overview of the program, the Energy Solutions for Business program is available to all commercial and industrial customers, and that includes state entities, government entities, nonprofits, K-12 schools, universities, etc., within the First Energy New Jersey service territory. So if the customer has JCP&L as its electric utility provider, then they are paying into the societal benefits charge that funds these programs, and they are able to take full advantage of the incentives that is available as long as the project and its equipment qualifies. Frozen there. Okay. So the full portfolio of JCP&L's Energy Solutions for Business program includes the prescriptive program, the custom program, and the instant discount program, which are all administered by TRC. And there's also the Small Business Direct Install program, Energy Management, and Engineered Solutions program, which is administered by our counterparts at Willdan. And if you do have projects that you feel qualify for these other programs that are administered by Willdan, which is more comprehensive in nature, so they're not looking at a single measure, such as with the prescriptive, custom, and instant discount program. That's more of a comprehensive project scope incentive program. I'll be happy to send an introductory email. If you like, you can email me and we'll support you with getting connected with them. For today's presentation, we are going to focus on the programs that we administer with a big focus on the custom application. Now, what's the difference between the prescriptive and custom program? Now, both programs are pretty much your single measure rebate program. One of the main differences, though, is that the custom program will allow you to bulk multiple measures within one application. Whereas the prescriptive program, it will require a separate application for each measure that's associated with a respective utility account. So each utility account would also have to have a separate application. Now, you will find the equipment that qualifies for a prescriptive incentive within our program guide. We highly encourage you to take some time and review the information within the program guide. The first few pages provide an overview of the program as a whole, and then it dives into the programs. You will see the different types of equipment listed there that qualifies for a prescriptive incentive, and then you will see that set incentive noted within the program guide. So you can do the necessary calculations on your own to determine what what type of incentive you will receive for the equipment. Now, the types of equipment, as you can see on the screen, includes interior and exterior lighting and lighting controls, which can go on one application. Um, HVAC and HVAC controls also go on one application. There's also commercial kitchen equipment, office equipment like Energy Star monitors and computers, as well as variable frequency drive fans, ground source heat pumps, and there is much, much more that can go via the prescriptive program. Whereas let's say that the equipment does not fall on the prescriptive list and this equipment can save energy, then this project can potentially go through the custom pathway. Through the custom path, these are measures that are more complex in nature. Some examples include custom lighting, HVAC chillers, compressed air, boilers, large variable frequency drives, and data center equipment server. Now, in addition to the equipment, the custom path, you can also consider measures that improve the building shell or mechanical components of the building, as well as insulation, glazing, and emerging technologies. Now, through the custom path, we will help customers and work with our contractors to help customers develop tailored projects that best meet the unique needs of their facility and their organizational goals. Custom projects are typically multi-measure or optimization solutions for which customers earn performance-based incentives using dollars per kilowatt hour. Please note that pre-approval is required before any equipment is purchased or installed, and incentives are calculated based on your energy savings and total project cost, which is very different than having a set incentive as in the prescriptive program. Please note that you should have already heard that we are currently running a custom program enhancement for our incentives, where it is currently at 30 cents per kilowatt hour saved, and that's compared to the standard 16 cents per kilowatt hour saved. Now, please note that this enhancement is only available until December 31st. Submitting an application before December 31st will help secure this incentive rate. We need to see a project in the pipeline in order to ensure that you can take advantage of this custom incentive. I will also encourage you, if you have a potential project, please reach out to me directly and I can loop in our engineer who can provide you with support regarding any calculations. And of course, we're going to take some time to dive into that as well today. I just want to pause and see if we have any specific questions. Okay, there seems to be a bit of an issue with the chat feature. It is possible that it is disabled, so you may only be able to use the Q&A, but I am going to take a moment and see if I can resolve that. Just one moment, please. Okay, my apologies for everyone. It looks like the chat feature was disabled. I believe it is now enabled, and I would greatly appreciate if someone can do a test run. And please feel free to introduce yourself and or your company and the services that you provide. Um, we understand the value in networking, and there could be some opportunities here to connect with some customers. Um, Perfect. Thank you so much, Esther, for taking the lead with that. Everyone can feel free to use the chat feature to share any information you would like for the general public. Also, if you have any questions that are specific to the TRC team, please use the Q&A feature. Thank you, everyone. We're now going to continue with the presentation and take a deeper dive into the custom program. So, through the custom program, there are two paths that are available. There's the custom equipment improvements pathway or the custom building improvements. This will be important as when you submit the application online, which we will take time to do, today you will see that you will need to identify which pathway your project is going. So for the custom equipment improvements pathway, this is for projects that include building optimization. It includes compressed air systems, custom lighting projects, HVAC chillers, boilers, as well as improvements to your data center equipment and servers, in addition to any emerging technologies. Whereas the custom building improvements pathway is for improvements to the building shell or improvements to the building mechanical components. For example, retrofitting your building to a higher efficiency and energy management systems within the building. Now, what we require for both of these pathways is the energy modeling and calculations to determine what the incentives will be. So if you have any projects that may qualify through the custom pathway, again, please review our incentive guide to learn more. And if you're not sure if it is eligible, please reach out to us directly and we'll be happy to support you with navigating these programs and assessing your project. Okay, I'm just going to pause again. Doesn't look like we have any questions there. And thank you for the engagement via the chat. Let's continue to do so. So diving into what is possible to be part of the application process, we're going to start with inspections. Projects are subject to pre-inspection. Please keep this in mind. You will be informed directly via the case manager or the inspector who will coordinate a date to come and do a site visit. They will coordinate with the contractor who is likely a program ally, as well as the customer directly to set a date. Now, projects are selected randomly for pre-inspection, and there are projects that are subject to post-inspection as well. Of course, in the pre-inspection, we want to ensure that the equipment is not installed and prior to the application being approved, and that we can verify the baseline conditions for custom applications if the project is selected. Now, for post inspections, we want to ensure that the project installation is complete and that the equipment is installed and fully operable, and that it matches what was approved for the incentive. Now, please note that both of these processes can take up to 2 weeks for the inspector to come out and do a site visit, but you will know in advance if the project is selected for an inspection, and we will coordinate with both the contractor and the customer. Now, we do understand that there are extenuating situations that may impact the timeline and certain deliverables. We do require that any extensions or cancellations that are requested be put in writing. As much as we appreciate a phone call, we do need to be able to track this communication in case we are audited, and we want to ensure that you have the proper support that's available to ensure that everything is executed as you need. Now, extensions could be possible in terms of the installation. Allow 90 days for prescriptive and custom installations. There may be a leak, power outage, flood, or something, or some other delay that impacts that timeline, or there may be an issue with communicating with the customer that prevents them from signing off on the application, or submitting the letter of attestation. We just need something in writing to validate that, and we do communicate within 5 business days to approve or deny any requests. Now, diving into the application process, very high level, as mentioned, custom applications are required to go through pre-approval. Prescriptive applications are not required, but are highly encouraged to go for pre-approval to ensure that the incentive amount that you are assuming and communicating to the customer is guaranteed. Once the application is submitted online, you'll receive a confirmation email, and the customer will receive an email with a DocuSign to sign off on the actual application to confirm that they are approving this project. Once the application is signed off, prescriptive applications typically take about 2 weeks to get picked up and reviewed by a case manager. Custom applications usually take a few days in comparison, because we know that there's going to be a lot of dialogue in finalizing the application. And we're hoping that the information that we share today will help mitigate that in order to expedite the applications faster. So please let us know if you have a potential application. And we can support you throughout the process once the application is submitted. Now, as mentioned, projects are subject to pre-inspection. Once the project is reviewed and we have all of the necessary documents to move forward with installation, the case manager will send an offer package to the customer, in which the contractor is CC'd on to support with just nudging the customer along and ensuring that we can receive the documents within the appropriate timeline. The offer package will include an offer letter, which will identify the amount of incentives. It will include a letter of attestation for the customer to sign off on once the project is complete. It will also now include an opportunity for the customer to give permission for the project to become a case study and or success story by participating in the program. And of course, it'll include some terms and conditions. So the contractor is usually supportive with ensuring that we get the right documents in the right timeline. So once the offer letter is signed, then you can begin the installations. Um, Projects have 90 days, prescriptive and custom projects have 90 days for installation. And then once everything is complete, the letter of attestation gets submitted to the case manager. And then if the project is selected for a post-inspection, you will be informed at that time. And as mentioned, that takes about 2 weeks for us to come out for a site visit. If there's any documentation that's needed for closeout, such as the W-9 as the payee, any labor invoices that are needed to close out, we will let you know. Please note that if the inspector does come out and find any deficiencies or discrepancies, we will continue to maintain communication every 5 days until any issues are resolved. Same with the final documentation. Once that is complete, then the project moves into QA/QC, and then goes into financing for us to provide the incentive payment, which does go out via a check in the mail. That QA/QC process can take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. Here is just an example before we dive into everyone's Q&A and take a look at the actual application. This is a custom program project where the bottling plant upgraded their compressed air system and processes. They received $131,000 in incentives and were able to have 1.31 million kilowatt hours in savings, which brought the payback period down from 1.36 years to just zero point 0.40 years, attributing that incentive to the project cost. Before we dive into financing, I'm just going to see if there's any questions regarding the information that was shared thus far. Okay, great. So yes, so to clarify regarding the incentive rate, um, I was going to show that on the program guide, but yes, projects are still limited to either, the incentive rate is either 50% of the project cost, up to 50% of the project cost, or 30 cents per kilowatt hour saved. It is based on the lesser of the two. And as a reminder, that 30 cents, per kilowatt hour saved incentive is a temporary program enhancement that's available until December 31st. Okay, so let's dive into the commercial financing, which is a great opportunity for customers to be able to have 0% financing that is provided through our partner, National Energy Improvement Fund, also known as NEIF. Um, they provide 0% financing for 3 or 5 year terms. The project does need to qualify for an incentive, and the project has to have a minimum cost of $2,500. Now, there is a maximum financing of $125,000 for prescriptive projects at 0% interest and $250,000 for custom projects at 0% interest. Any amounts that exceed that amount, once the customer is approved for financing, they can finance the whole project. That additional funds would be at the market rate. And please note that JCP&L has ensured us that those caps will fall off starting in Triennium 2, which is expected to start on January 1st. Now, please note, all contractors that are performing work on this custom project that is financed by NEIF must be an NEIF approved contractor. Very similar to the process of becoming a program ally. They need to verify your company and its business and services that it's provide in order for you to take advantage of this financing mechanism. For contractors, it does make it very easy to integrate financing into your sales process by allowing you to create a monthly payment proposal. I've seen it done in 2 minutes or less that you can provide your customers. Customers can also apply directly for financing via this website. Please note that in both instances, the contractor that's doing the work still must be NEIF approved, and the NEIF operates in full transparency between the customer and the contractor. Here on the screen, you will find some contact information for NEIF, and I will include this in the follow-up email along with the links to what we're discussing today. Here is the contact information for our call center and team and my direct contact information. Please know that we are not concluding the webinar at this time. We're going to dive into the application training and allow you to view the website. While I do that, though, I will allow Anthony, if you'd like to unmute at this time and add any additional details, but I am going to bring up the website, which should also provide some support with that. Just a moment, everyone.
Hey, Tiffany. I don't think I have anything at the moment, but I'll jump in once you pull up the website.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, here we go. Anthony, are you able to confirm if you still see the presentation or if you see the website?
I see the website now.
Awesome. Okay, so it's sharing the whole screen. Thank you. So I know we didn't touch on the instant discount program, but it is available for specific types of bulbs, fixtures, and HVAC equipment. There is an incentive cap for lighting, which has been increased to $50,000. Select lighting measures will have a double incentive rate, and you can see there the verification of the increase of the custom incentives. Now, this is the JCP&L website for the prescriptive and custom program. Let me bring back up the chat and excuse me, in the Q&A. Okay, great. And here's where you can find all of our programs. You can click here and see additional information regarding the custom program. And here is where you'll also find the incentive guide, which is also available on the prescriptive website. Now, as mentioned, these first few pages are very valuable in providing just a high-level overview of the program as a whole, timelines, closeout documents, expiration dates, extensions, etc. And page 6 is where you would find information specific to the custom program. As mentioned earlier, incentives are calculated based on the lesser of the two, 50% of the project cost or 30 cents per kilowatt hour saved within the first year. And it does reiterate what equipment qualifies for an incentive. And then it dives deeper into the different requirements for program participation, as well as requirements and documents that are required that is specific to the different types of equipment. As mentioned, energy modeling is required in order to support with determining those baseline conditions. We are going to dive into that shortly. But this green section is everything that is relative to the custom program. So these pages, in addition to the first few pages, is really what you want to hone in on. Now, please note, customers can submit applications on their own directly via this website. I know in many industrial and manufacturing industries, the customer is also the engineer and does have the ability to do so. So you can go here directly to apply now. We encourage you to have a copy of your utility bill on hand because in addition to the account number, we do need the customer name and it must match the name on the utility bill, which sometimes may be different as to how you're doing business. Now, if you are a contractor doing a project on behalf of a customer, you must be a JCP&L program ally with TRC in order to submit an application on behalf of a commercial customer. You would go here to log in to the portal, which holds all of your applications. So the password didn't change. Awesome. And just like here, you'll see all of the projects that are within the prescriptive and custom pipeline. You'll find them here. You go in to start a new online application. I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment to allow me to enter the credentials. But as a program ally, once you put in your credentials, you'll also need to verify the customer. If you have any issues with verifying the customer, we do ask that you reach out to us directly, reach out to the call center at Energy Save NJ at trccompanies.com, and they'll be able to support you directly. They would be your best source of support for immediate attention. I am now going to share my screen again. And you will see this pop up here that verifies the customer qualifies for participation in this program. Then it should take you to start a new application. Please forgive my slow internet service. Here we go. So this verifies you are a program ally submitting on behalf of a customer. How have you heard about the program? Because this is a custom program, a custom project, and it requires pre-approval. Of course, it's not complete. When do you anticipate the project being completed? If you are working with NEIF, we ask you to identify that here. And this could potentially be a custom lighting project, but you'd want to identify it here. This information will likely be pre-populated based on the information we have in our system for the company and the site. You're going to need to verify or identify the type of gas service that's available. If you know, is close to your recollection, provide information regarding the facility, and then move into the actual application information. Please note, and I would like to highlight that this page requests information on the customer contact for both. The customer contact is a person who's authorized to sign off on the application, whereas the technical facility contact still must be a representative of the customer company, but that's the person we're going to work with to coordinate if there are any pre or post inspections. The payee can be any entity of your choosing, could be the customer, could be the contractor, could be a consultant. We do, however, require the W-9 of whichever entity is going to receive the check. And then we go into measures here. Adding new measures, and then we walk through the process. Anthony, feel free to jump in at any point. This is a good time for questions. Once you see what information we are requesting, please ask away via the chat. Actually, yeah, I'll let Anthony provide an overview first, and then I'll go into allow for unmuting, which may be easier for these types of questions. Just a moment. So here here's where you identify if this is a custom building improvement project or custom equipment project. Let's go to something hypothetical. Here, you have to wait a moment. Do not click add. You have to wait for it to ask you the details that the system needs based on the information that you provide. And here is where you will find the type of calculations that we're looking for and what information we would need to verify how you came up with these calculations. Just one moment, I'm going to see if I can unmute everyone. Just one moment. Okay, this is going to take a moment. Anthony, do you have any information that you'd like to share regarding this first section while I unmute everyone?
Sure. I guess I can just explain the process and give some tips when putting together the application. So once you submit your official application, myself and the engineering team I work with will begin to review the project. After we review it, we'll send back comments, which will require you to address those comments and then send back any additional information we need. Because this process can get drawn out if we require an abnormal amount of revisions, I always suggest that you really pay attention to detail in the initial submission so that we can limit the amounts of comments we'll have for you in the future. I don't have any case studies because it's sort of hard to find, a one size fits all approach to the custom program. But I will say this, when you go to submit your savings calculation, and we usually see this in an Excel worksheet, but we do accept energy models as well. Please make sure to provide equations in the cells and don't just hard enter values. What I mean by this is that sometimes we receive applications that'll claim they're saving, 100,000 kWh per year. And when you go to click into the cell, it's just a hard-coded value and there's no equations associated with it. By including the equations, it helps our engineering team to follow the process easier. And on top of that, I also ask that you provide a brief narrative on how the savings were calculated or any assumptions made. And this really helps our engineering team to work more efficiently and turn around comments in a timely manner.
Okay, so we do have a question here. We have two. Let me go up. Sorry about that. First question is, if a commercial customer wants to remove a boiler heating system and change to a heat pump dual fuel gas rooftop HVAC system for heating and cooling, is that considered prescriptive or custom?
Yeah, so anything with gas savings or dual fuel savings would be custom.
Okay. Does the chiller include refrigerators and ice machines? Mm. Well, we have refrigeration as a prescriptive incentive here. Okay, so you're going to want to take the time to see what category it falls in. And if it is listed here, then it would go prescriptive. If you feel that what you are purchasing or looking to upgrade does qualify or could have energy savings, please send us an email with as much information as possible, any specs or any listings with the manufacturing information, so we can look into it further to verify. Um,
Do
Anthony,
I,
yes, go ahead. Mhm.
sorry, do I send you all the information first before I do the application? Can I do that or?
You can, in this instance where you have this question, I would say you can send that information to me directly. If it is something that you know is specific to the custom program, I'll still need to loop in because I don't think Anthony's information is there. So I will loop in Anthony if it is specific to the custom program, but we will need to see, in this instance with what you're asking for, we'll need to see more information to confirm. I know you were also asking if you're not, can I utilize this program if I do not need lighting? Yes, this program is not specific to lighting. It doesn't require you to do lighting upgrades. It's just a low-hanging fruit. Of course, probably about 90% of our applications are lighting. It's what people think about first when they think of energy efficiency. But as you can see, it covers, these programs cover a wide range of equipment. I'm not going to shut that down. I'm going to go back here. This prescriptive page provides a good snapshot of the different types of equipment that qualifies for an incentive.
Okay. And do I could do this by myself or would I need to find a licensed person to?
Okay. Are you the customer?
Yes.
You can submit an application on your own. What type of facility is it?
It's a hotel.
Okay, yeah. I think that's
Hotel,
pretty
bar, and restaurant, sorry.
right. So do you have an engineer or a technical expert there that can support with these calculations for the
Probably
custom
not, so I
program?
would probably
Right.
not.
Right. So in this instance, I would encourage you, you can go here and you can find a program ally here. All of our program allies are listed. You can identify what type of business you're looking for, right? What you're looking to upgrade. Refrigerants, likely HVAC or mechanical contractor, uh, the services they provide, and and they will identify any contractors that provide that specific service. Okay. Now, if you have a contractor that you particularly want to work with and they're willing to submit the application on your behalf, they would just need to apply to become a program ally, and then they can submit the application on your behalf. When it comes to lighting or, prescriptive equipment, it is pretty straightforward regarding being able to submit an application for these types of equipment, because you do have the incentive here. It's just a plug and play on the application. For example, if it's prescriptive.
Okay, thank you.
And you're looking at why does it still say custom? Because it didn't refresh. If it's prescriptive, you're going to just be able to plug in the details. I don't know why it kind of kicked me out. Yeah. So this may happen. Don't panic. Refresh the screen. Sometimes you have to come out and then go back in order to get in. Okay. But yes, prescriptive, I would say, is something you can do on your own, honestly, and you would just go here. Custom will likely need a technical expert because there is energy modeling that's required. Okay. Hi, Simon. So if submitting an application for a controls upgrade, which has several different aspects of energies which save energy, is this entered as single measure, or would each individual control loop change be a separate measure? Anthony, do you have any insight or do you need more information? Oh,
No,
Anthony
I
responded.
responded
I
in
just
the
saw
chat.
that.
No, no
Awesome.
worries.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank
a
you.
single application's fine, but then obviously in your Excel or energy model, just have those different measures broken out so we can follow it.
Thank you. Sorry, I missed that. Right. The prescriptive program is the route that has a separate application for each measure. Oops. I don't know what that was. For each measure that's within the program guide that's listed as prescriptive, a separate application for each utility would be required. Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. Oh, my internet is just not my friend today. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions? Let me check the Q&A. Sorry. I think the Q&A has remained since we opened the chat. Okay. So please note that I will send this video out to everyone who has requested this recording. Please note that events and training also houses some additional on-demand trainings, a program overview, the prescriptive and custom application training. I'm going to be honest, this leans more to prescriptive non-lighting applications. Whereas this bottom link here is for the lighting workbook, which is required for lighting projects. So there is a spreadsheet and a lighting workbook. So this provides that training that's specific to lighting projects. If the project qualifies for an instant discount, you will need to work with purchase from a participating distributor. If you're interested in becoming a distributor, that information can be found here. And then, of course, if you would like more information on the NEIF financing program, that'll be available here. Within the next week, you will see our upcoming trainings updated. We do have an indoor horticulture training, program overview scheduled for October. And then the November webinar is going to be the big webinar. It's going to be after the School Boards Association and League of Municipality events. So we will be, there will be a high customer population there for you to be able to identify projects. Please note you can find that information here, and be sure to have Energy Save NJ at TRC Companies saved in your address book so you don't miss out on any emails or announcements. Okay. I am your outreach account manager for JCP&L's prescriptive and custom and instant discount midstream programs. Please feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm going to put my contact information back up here on the screen. I am here to support you with providing any support with understanding the program, with getting your application submitted. If you need support with hopping on a call with a customer, any project assessments or anything like that, I will include my calendar link. And we can dive into the project and the program one-on-one. Did anyone have any additional questions? Okay. If not, I hope you found this information just one moment. I hope everyone found this information to be valuable. Please reach out if you require any support. And we look forward to working with you to help get these projects in and take full advantage of this temporary custom program enhancement. Okay. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy your weekend. Pinky, if you can please stay on and I will show you where you can find that information. Okay. All right. So here is the incentive guide. I'll go back to where you can find this information. It's prescriptive. And then you can click here to view the incentive guide. Here's another opportunity to just apply now. And of course, if you determine after looking at the program guide that you will require some support, you can.
Is this the JCP&L website or is it the? Because I'm on the JCP&L for business. Am I doing something wrong?
You're likely on this website, right? 1 second, sorry. EnergySaveNJ.com?
Yeah.
This? Yes. Right, because JCP&L covers residential customers and business. So in your instance, it would be business. If you go to For Your Business
Okay.
and you come here for prescriptive incentives,
For
it then brings
business.
you to the prescriptive page. Okay, this website will show you all of JCP&L's full suite of programs. As mentioned, there's prescriptive and custom, which has two pathways. The direct install program, energy management program. These are part of the engineered energy management program is also broken up into a few components, including building tune-up, retro commissioning, and strategic energy management. And there's also engineered solutions. The instant discount midstream program is a part of the prescriptive program. So you would need to visit that website for more information there.
I have one more question. So there was NJ Save Green program, which was through natural gas.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started the program, I went in and I did the program. They do not cover any refrigeration or food supply services appliances, and they do not cover water heating. Now, if I have used them for lighting already, can I use this program for refrigerator and food supplies, or I cannot?
I don't see how you could have possibly used a gas company for electric lights. I would like to learn more about that.
So they have a program that is called Save Green. New Jersey Natural Gas has a program called Save Green. And they had a lighting company come and tour the facility, and they changed all. I mean, they're going to be changing our lights soon. I already did their application already. So I'm just wondering, now that that part is done, can I use the refrigeration and the food services appliances portion of it, or I cannot?
The program does not limit how many projects you can do. There's no cap into how much money you can receive in incentives.
Mhm.
You can use it multiple times. Some people phase in projects. Some people do it all in one shot. There are advantages to doing it all in one shot. I'm going to be completely transparent with you. The small business direct install is not necessarily for small businesses, but if you average 200 kilowatts or less within a 12-month period, and you have to have been in business for at least 12 months to use that program. The advantages of that program, or the energy management program, which is for customers who average over 200 kilowatts, those are the comprehensive programs. Those are the programs where the benefits can go up to 70 or 80% of covering the project costs, because they're not just looking at the equipment. Once you begin to stack incentives, your energy savings multiplies. The prescriptive and custom program is a single measure rebate program for those customers that do need to break it up, or that are just looking to do a single measure. It could be one, maybe two measures, that they're looking to do at a time. It does require a separate application. Once you start adding lighting, and they should have informed you of that, if you're doing lighting, HVAC hypothetically, and refrigeration, you should look into the small business direct install or energy management program, just depending on where it falls. I'll be happy to send an introductory email to Wildan, but you can, if you average less than 200 kilowatts, get up
If
to
I'm looking at my electric bill, where would I see
You
the?
won't see it. It will only tell you for that month. It will likely not
Oh,
tell you. You would need to provide the program administrator with your utility account number in order for them to calculate what your average is. Unless you see 12 months. I don't know
I
if it
don't have
shows
12
12
months. I
months,
think
right?
I
So it'll
have a
be much,
monthly.
right. So it'll be much easier to just provide them with your um, utility account number for them to see which program you qualify for. Direct install provides up to 80% of the project cost. Energy management provides up to 70% of the project cost. If you were to apply separately for the prescriptive program, you're just going to get that set incentive. Whereas if you're looking to really enhance your energy savings and your incentive, that's the better route to go. And
So
I wish
who would I contact, you said,
I
for
would
this?
need to I can send an introductory email to Wildan, or you can go right here to direct install, and their information is here.
Direct install, you said?
I don't know if you would qualify for direct install or energy management, but likely their contact information is the same for both. Oh, this actually doesn't even provide. Oh, because it depends on which one of these subcategories. But this is the best way to get in touch with Wildan, as you can see here,
Mhm.
if you want the 800 number. If you'd like me to put you directly in touch with someone, please send me an email, and I will send an introductory email to the representative directly.
Okay, I will do that. I'll send you an email. This way I have a better understanding of how I should use this program.
Absolutely.
And even they have this program even for residential, you said, right?
It's not this program, but there is a program
Okay.
for residential, and you would have to go here for your home and see what programs are available.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm not too familiar with that. Another company, believe it's Clear Result, runs those programs.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, yeah.
You're so
So
helpful. Thank you.
no, of course, anytime. And I would like to just reiterate that looks like many contractors have shared their information in the chat. I don't know if you want to screenshot that or download that, but many of these companies I am familiar with and work closely with. So I'm sure they have a wealth of information as well. Okay. And
But they
Sherry,
would do these people do refrigerators and everything, or do they do it partial?
many of them have indicated what they do work on. So I would take some time and look through the chat.
Okay.
Every company is different. So there's not, every company doesn't do everything. So you would have to look and see what company does what you would like. Or you can go to find a program ally page on the website, and indicate what you're looking for and find someone. If you're, okay.
Okay,
This is
perfect.
really a really helpful tool I found, because it does list not just that one service that you're looking for, it'll tell you all the services that the company provides. So you may find some that, you know,
And it
are general
also,
contractors.
on this website, it also has like the EV chargers where the JCP&L would do the electric transformers and everything, and then we would have to put the charging. Does that go into this prescriptive
No,
incentive, or is it a different one?
that's a completely different program. I'm not sure if you were here for the beginning of the presentation, but this is the equipment that qualifies for a prescriptive incentive. Okay, unfortunately, EV chargers is not listed here. So would
Okay.
not, if it's not listed here, it would not go via our programs. But you can find more information, I'm sure, if you go here. Virtual.
Yeah, that's where I saw it.
Yeah, so this is the JCP&L website regarding all of their programs. I'm looking for EV. There should be. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I am gonna go on their website and check.
Okay, here's electric vehicles. Sorry, what was that? Was that someone in your background? Here's the EV driven. I'll drop this in the chat for you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay. Sherry, yes, I ask if you're still on the call to please just put your email or identify that in the chat that you would like the recording. I'll see if I can create a link and embed it, but just in case I can't, I want to make sure it gets to the people who identify that they want one. If you can just put that in the chat with your email, that would be much appreciated.
I just added it.
Yes, thank you. I was referring to Sherry. I know you
Oh.
requested the recording. If you could please drop your email in the chat and I will be sure to include that. Oh, no, that's the cute. I'll drop it in the chat. Okay. That way I can just look at one spot to find the information. Does anyone else have any questions? I can't think of anything else to cover. Please reach out. We want to be able to identify what custom projects are potentially coming through the pipeline, so we can review our budgeting and prepare for these incentive checks to go out. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us for support. One final time, I'll put my contact information and the program's call center information on the screen. We are here to help. You are not alone. I know I threw a lot of information at you today, but just let us know how we can help. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I hope you have a very happy weekend. Take care, everyone.